The movie starts outside a club where Ani and her friend are chatting about the people they've met. Inside, Ani is frustrated with the DJ and complains about the songs he's playing, rejecting the ones she suggested. Suddenly, her boss approaches and asks for her help with a Russian client since she's the only one who understands Russian. Ani agrees and joins the client. The client introduces himself as Ivan and introduces her to his friends. Ivan asks if she speaks Russian. Ani says she doesn't speak it well but can understand it. However, Ivan struggles to understand her. So, Ani switches to Russian and asks if he wants to go to a private room. Ivan agrees, and they head there. They have a good time together, and Annie gives him her number before leaving. Annie goes home, but soon she gets a message from Ivan. Excited, she heads to his house and is amazed by how fancy it is. They spend the day together, make out, and enjoy each other's company. Ivan invites her to a party that night. Ani and her friend attend the private party, where they have fun and party all night. Later that night, Ivan and Ani get closer and make out again. The next morning, as Ani is about to leave, Ivan stops her. He asks her to be his exclusive girlfriend for a week. Ani agrees, but asks for extra money, and Ivan accepts. She tells her boss and moves into Ivan's house. For the next week, they party, have fun, and grow even closer. One night, Ivan brings up the idea of marriage. Ani laughs it off at first, but Ivan is serious. Eventually, Ani agrees, and they get married that same night at a small chapel. After the wedding, they enjoy their time together, and Ani tells her co-workers and boss about the marriage before quitting her job as a stripper. Meanwhile, Toros, a church priest, hears a rumor about Ivan's marriage. Toros decides to send Garnik to check on him. At Ivan's house, Ivan gets a call but ignores it. Ani asks if he told his parents about their marriage. Ivan explains that his parents wouldn't approve but promises she'll meet them someday. They start making out again. Meanwhile, Garnik and his friend Igor are driving to Ivan's house. On the way, Garnik mentions that Ivan married a prostitute. Igor laughs, but Garnik says it's a serious problem and could get them in trouble with their boss.
Хотят себя показать. Hey, is Ivan at the house?
I don't know. He hasn't left since I've been here, but I just started my shift.
Do you know if he got married?
Married? I've no idea. I just got here.
Okay, open the gate.
When they arrive, they prepare to confront Ivan. Ivan sees Garnik at the door but doesn't open it. Frustrated, Garnik uses a key card to unlock the door, and Ivan tries to stop him. At the door, Garnik warns Ivan in Russian that he'll be in serious trouble if he's married to a prostitute. Ani overhears and feels offended. Garnik asks to see the marriage certificate, and Ivan takes him to get it. Meanwhile, Igor introduces himself to Ani. Garnik takes a picture of the certificate and sends it to Toros. Toros confirms to his father that the marriage is real. While waiting for Toros to call back, Garnik tries to calm Ivan down. Toros eventually calls and tells Ivan that his mother cried when she heard about the marriage. He says Ivan's parents are coming to take him back to Russia and insists they prepare for a divorce. Ivan asks if his parents are really coming, and Toros confirms their flight is in 2 hours. Ivan starts getting dressed and tells Ani to do the same. When Ani hesitates and tries to go upstairs, Ivan gets annoyed and leaves without her. Garnik tries to catch him but fails. Ani tries to escape, but Igor stops her and ties her with a telephone wire. When Garnik returns, he tells Igor to let her go, saying she won't leave while they're there. Once free, Ani tries to run out the back door, but Igor stops her again. When Garnik tries to tie her legs, Ani kicks him, breaking his nose. A few minutes later, Toros arrives and sees the mess in the house. He asks about Ivan, and Garnik says he ran away. Toros speaks to Ani, explaining that the marriage is illegal and urging her to divorce Ivan. Ani insists the marriage is real and says she loves Ivan. Toros tells her Ivan doesn't love her and has done this before. He reveals that Ivan has no money and spends his father's wealth. Ani shows him the ring Ivan gave her, but Toros orders Igor to take it. When Ani screams for help, they tie her up. Toros calls a lawyer and arranges a court hearing for the next morning. He offers Ani $10,000 to walk away from the marriage. Ani pretends to agree. Before leaving, Toros notices the name Anora on the marriage certificate, but Ani says her name is Ani. The group leaves in Toros's car and stops at a shop owned by one of Ivan's friends. When they ask about Ivan, his friend threatens them. Igor steps in and starts breaking things in the shop. They call Ivan, but he doesn't answer. Frustrated, they leave the shop and walk to a nearby diner. At night, Igor offers Ani a scarf when it gets cold. She refuses at first, but eventually takes it. When they return to the car, they find it being towed for parking illegally. Toros argues with the tow truck driver, but eventually gets in the car and drives off, with everyone else climbing in. They spend the night searching for Ivan, but can't find him. Hungry, they stop at a diner to eat. Meanwhile, Ivan is back at the club where he met Ani. A stripper recognizes him and tells her co-workers. One of Ani's friends also notices Ivan. At the diner, Ani gets a message from her friend about Ivan's location and informs Toros. They head to the club and find Ivan drunk and hanging out with a stripper. Ani confronts him, asking why he didn't answer his phone, but Ivan is too drunk to understand. He starts drinking again. As they leave the club, Ani gets into a fight with one of the strippers and gets hurt. In the car, Ani tries to talk to Ivan, but he doesn't respond. That night, they all sleep at the courthouse, preparing for the hearing the next day. In the morning, a lawyer meets with Toros and takes everyone into the courtroom. Ani denies all the claims about the marriage and says she doesn't want a divorce. While this is happening, Ivan, still drunk, falls onto the desk. Frustrated, the judge throws them out of the courtroom. Outside, Toros notices that Ivan and Ani were married in Las Vegas. They carry Ivan to the car and drive to the airport. In the car, Ani tries to talk to Ivan, but he's too out of it to respond. A few hours later, Ivan's parents arrive on a private plane. His mother comes over, sees Ivan drunk, and looks disappointed. Ani introduces herself, saying she's honored to be part of the family. Ivan's mother, unhappy, tells Ani that she's not family, and that the marriage isn't real. Ani turns to Ivan and asks if they're really getting a divorce. Ivan confirms and tells her to board the plane. Ani refuses, but Ivan's mother threatens her, forcing her to board. On the plane to Las Vegas, Ivan argues with his mother about the marriage. Feeling betrayed, Ani interrupts and says she's fine with getting divorced. Once they arrive in Las Vegas, Ani signs the divorce papers. Igor suggests that Ivan should apologize to Ani, but Ivan's mother gets upset and says he won't. Angry, Ani insults Ivan and storms off. At the car, Toros suggests Ani stay at the private house for the night, and Igor offers to take her home the next day. They drive back, and that night, Ani talks about what Igor did to her before deciding to leave. In the morning, Ani comes out with her luggage, and Igor helps her pack up. After loading her things, Igor returns, and they end up making out. Heartbroken, Ani starts hitting him, but he stops her and hugs her tightly. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe for more videos.